first.
Right, we're ready to begin with Mississippi State. We're going to go straight to questions with the two student athletes, and if you'll raise your hand, we'll get one of the remote mics to you. When you raise your hand, when you ask your question, if you would, identify yourself and the outlet that you represent. So let's go ahead with the questions. Let's start right here on the front row.
Robbie Falk with Starkville Daily News. DJ, obviously you guys had a tough task defensively today, but came out and had a really good showing in the first half. Mm-hmm. How well did you feel like you guys executed for 40 minutes in this game against a really good offense?
I felt like we did a great job for 40 minutes. You know, we stayed together in front of start. Like, we just dictated. You know, we just we didn't allow them to get into their stuff, you know, and they was just fighting from behind the whole time. So we just did a good job for 40 minutes, just staying on tech.
Let's stay on the front row on the aisle right here.
Stefan Kreshnik at the Clarion Ledger. Cam, you guys talked on Wednesday about not just wanting to win that game against LSU to secure a tournament spot, but, you know, also wanted to play beyond that. I guess, what was kind of the message last night going into today about wanting to beat Tennessee and keep this run going?
Just going out playing like that could be our last game. Having a good layout of the bracket. Most of the teams on our side, we kind of already played good or already beat. So just knowing we got the confidence to go out there and compete with all the teams.
Okay, let's take one more right here on the front row, and then we'll come over to you guys.
Cam, what do you think for someone who, you know, is more of a casual college basketball fan, what do you think you and your guys kind of showed everyone about Mississippi State basketball today that probably didn't watch you guys more so this year?
That we get after it, and please keep counting us out. Please keep giving us our chip on our shoulder. It gives fuel to the fire. So just keep doing that.
All right, let's go to questions on the front row on the right side.
This one's for Cam and DJ. Mitch Davis, the Mitch Davis Show. Guys, talk about what it meant to you to hear those Mississippi State fans at the end hooting and hollering, having a good time, and silencing Rocky Top today in Nashville.
Cam?
Cam, you got it, Cam.
Okay.
Go ahead, Cam.
Yeah, it just means a lot having a good crowd like that, because I don't know if the people that couldn't see, it was mostly orange out there. So it just felt good just silencing all that noise and just having our fans root for us.
No, same for DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my answer too. I just piggyback what he said. You know, it just felt good because it was mostly orange. You know, like we was in this is their home, I guess. You know, it was a home game for them. So, you know, just go out there and get a win and see our home fans be happy. And we want to do it for them. So we just trying to go get a championship.
Okay, question. You good? Okay, was there a question in the center? Let's come back to the front row right here.
DJ, for, you know, the veterans on this team, you know, you guys had this feeling last year, you beat Florida and then, you know, got bounced in the next round. I guess just what's it mean to get to play here another day, and what was the mood in the locker room like?
I mean, it's a big relief, you know, for 2 years since I've been here. You know, we always get put out in this round. 4 for me. Well, 2 for me, 3. I don't know how long it's been for me, but, you know, it's just a big relief on my back, you know, just to get to the Final Four. I've never been in the SEC Final Four, so, you know, it's a big relief. And this is my last go-around, so, you know, I'm going out there and giving my all, whatever it takes.
Next question on the far right.
Drew Hill, Daily Memphian. DJ, I mean, you've been teammates with Cam for a long time. How often have you thought about, you know, that this could be, you know, you're getting towards the end of a run with a guy you've been with, you know, for that long?
I mean, I try not to think about it too much, but, you know, some days I think about it. You know, I've been with him for a long time. You know, this is my guy. He's like my best friend, you know, and I don't know what he's going to do without me next year, but, you know, I'll call to check up on him.
Was there a question? One of you guys? All right, let's go to the center aisle right here.
Cam, that dunk you had in the first half went viral pretty quickly, and the camera panned to your mom, who was she was celebrating quite a bit there. What's it been like having her, you know, sit right behind the bench, you know, throughout your career, but, you know, this tournament as well?
Just same old. She's very supportive, even since I was a baby playing football. T-ball, she's been the same person my whole life. I feel like it would be kind of weird if she wasn't right there yelling and screaming. So I really appreciate it. I love her, but don't show her this though. So, you know.
We got time for one more. Let's take it right here on the front row.
Guys, Mitch Davis again with the Mitch Davis Show. Guys, talk about that performance out there for both of y'all. Y'all unlocked the beast out there, and it was pretty fun to watch.
DJ?
You said talk about the performance. I mean, I just did my job. I just went out there and played defense and played hard. Just do what I need to do. Whatever they need me to do, I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna go out there and give them all each and every night.
And Cam?
Just trying to pick back, play better than I played yesterday. I kind of beat myself up yesterday. I didn't have my best performance, and my teammates and my coaches, they just told me just stay with it, and we trust you. We got belief in you that you're a good player, and just go out there and do what you do.
He will excuse the student athletes. You can return to the locker room.
I appreciate you.
Thank y'all. Hill State.
We'll continue on with questions for Coach Jans. Let's start right on the front row.
Chris, you guys have had a ton of very impressive wins this year, but to beat the #1 seed in the SEC the way that you did, I mean, was this the most impressive win of the year for your guys, you think?
I'm not in the mood or portion of the season where we're reminiscing that much, but certainly it was a big win for us considering the platform, considering, it's the end of the year, considering, what we're trying to play for. And we've got so much respect for Coach Barnes, his staff and their players. I mean, to win the SEC regular season title is big time. To go through the gauntlet of this type of league and be able to come out on top just says so much about their program, and they do it the right way. And really felt our only chance, was to hit them in the mouth. We had to come out and attack them and, just get our toughness in the game and see if we could rattle them a little bit. And so our plan was super aggressive in everything we were doing defensively and even offensively for that matter. And, you've been doing this long enough that sometimes when you got a game on that court and, you've got, a run, you've got a win, you feel really good. They haven't played in a while, and, that sometimes you get a little rust on your game that way as well. And I thought that had something to do with, how the game unfolded, at least from the start.
A question on the outside aisle. Go ahead.
Chris, I think y'all are the only team in the league that hadn't lost to Tennessee this season, and both games y'all played against them, you had more success than a lot of people do in the paint in those matchups. Was there something about that matchup you felt good about going into this, or is that just your guys having 2 good days?
It doesn't happen very often, but we actually felt going into the first game, like you mentioned, and even this afternoon with a similar mindset that we wanted to really attack inside out and try to go at Adu and the other bigs as much as we could. And he's an unbelievable player, especially on the offensive end, and he's a really good shot blocker as well. But we felt like we had a little bit, at times a weight advantage, and we wanted to try to, get our back down game and get Jimmy and Tolu, going, and maybe, get to the free throw line, while you're trying to pound the ball inside. And then on the perimeter, obviously it starts with Connect and Ziegler out there, and with Connect you do the best you can. You try to make him a volume scorer, make everything hard for him. And with Ziegler, again, you just gotta do your best. I mean, they're obviously both really good players, but we felt good about the matchup, and that's helped us. We beat them, so. We got confidence going into this game, and our kids felt good about the matchup all day long.
There's a question on the second row on the right side.
Justin Fromer, 247 Sports. Chris, Cam mentioned having a chip on your shoulder and sort of feeling the fire. Why do you feel like you, your staff, and these players sort of embrace that underdog mindset, have been able to use it to win many of these top 10 games?
I don't know. A lot of different reasons probably, but these kids are tough-minded guys, and we feel like we work pretty hard on a daily basis, and they bought into that bring it every day lunch pail mentality. And some of them, for the most part, weren't recruited at the highest level, didn't have a bunch of stars by their names. We got a couple that did, but the majority of our guys didn't grow up in basketball that way. And we mixed this group together, and unfortunately they got to know each other and like each other, and you can tell by the way they play for each other. But definitely, at times, we talk about, that chip and trying to use it to our advantage in certain situations.
Okay, front row right here on the center.
Coach, he asked about Cam's mom, and I know you got Tolu's family back there and Josh's family too. What's that dynamic like with those families behind the bench? And they're so involved in the crowd too. I mean, what's your thoughts on their involvement with their kids and with the team as well?
You know, it's been really fun to be here, you know, for the last 2 years and getting to know these guys. You know, when you walk in and, you know, you're talking about a bunch of guys that have been with us for 2 years and certainly some additions, but they didn't know me, I didn't know them, and there was some blind faith on their part to stay with us. They didn't had choices not to. Even after the first year, they had choices not to, and getting to know their families and how supportive they are. You know, that's what impressed me the most after our first year, during our first year, is the quality of young people that I inherited, and then certainly what we've added to the group. It just makes it more fun every day to know you're going to work and going to practice, and they're going to have, you know, a good mindset for the most part, individually and collectively. But in terms of the dynamic, you know, during those games, it's different. You know, I don't have rabbit ears, fortunately. My wife will ask me a lot, you know, throughout our career of, you know, did you hear what they said? And I'm like, no. She goes, I don't know how you don't. I go, I don't know either, but I'm glad that I don't. So I'm sure there was stuff said that I didn't hear, but don't get me wrong. You know, I can't lie to you and that I don't hear them once in a while. And I guess as long as we keep winning, you know, them being behind there is no issue.
Okay, question on the front row in the center.
Coach, it's another night where you know, Cam and DJ have the really impressive plus-minus numbers. You know, for them, when you guys have games like this, like yesterday against LSU and today against Tennessee, when the defense is playing so well, just how key are the two of them?
I mean, they just got great basketball bodies, and I've talked about this with the local folks, obviously, and they know how to play. You know, that's the one thing that, in my opinion, is the hardest thing to teach, is just instincts. They either have it or they don't. You can get a little bit better at it, and just an understanding of what's going on out there all the time. And, you know, those two are at the top of the list for our team. We got a bunch of other guys too, but they just get it, you know, and that's nice as a coach to have guys on the floor that do get it. And it makes a big difference. And they're about winning more than anything else. And in this day and age in college basketball, unfortunately, that isn't always what's going on. But our guys in that locker room, especially these two, have put aside some interest of their own to sacrifice to be, you know, part of something bigger than themselves, and it's fun to be a part of it.
We'll take two more questions. Second row on the far right. I know you've been waiting, and then we'll finish up right here on the front row on the right.
Yeah, I mean, a couple occasions there in that second half of the beginning, and then with 5 minutes left, Tennessee, you know, they made a bit of a run, sort of like they did in the meeting in January, but you were able to just stem the tide pretty much right away each time. So I guess just what were the keys, and what were you saying to the guys in those moments to, you know, keep that comfortable lead?
Well, I'm not surprised, obviously, with the quality of program and the players that, you know, they weren't going to go away. You know, we talked about it at halftime, certainly talked about it in some of our huddles of trying to get out of this hovel and have the mentality that we were down 10, you know, play with that urgency. You know, they're not going anywhere. They're going to, you know, punch back. And they did that, and definitely had some similarities to the first matchup where they slapped the press on us and we struggled a little bit. But we played well enough in the first half that the deficit, you know, was a little bit bigger than it was in Starkville, and that certainly brought a comfort level to us when they were trying to make their comebacks.
Okay, front row on the right. Last question.
Coach, I want to ask you about trusting your guys. Obviously, I mean, you got some senior leadership. You got guys who've been with you for the last 2 years. Talk about your trust in those guys down the stretch, and when Tennessee was making the run, let the veteran leadership kind of lead the team to the promised land.
Yeah, it's been fun to coach a team the last couple years that have voices. You know, some of them have grown recently. Some of them have been there from the jump. To empower those guys to take ownership of the program. And like I said earlier, we've got a lot of high IQ guys that get it. And so you don't have to worry about them saying the wrong thing, you know, that could, you know, get you off the path a little bit. And so it's a big plus. And, you know, we obviously went through a stretch there. We weren't playing our best and we weren't having the outcomes. But like I kept telling them, you know, we're a good basketball team that are playing other good basketball teams. And it's hard to win sometimes, especially on the road or even at home, depending on, you know, the quality of opponent. But they all stuck together and they continue to fight and scratch and claw. And, you know, now we're being rewarded for it.
Thank you. See
Thank
you
you.
tomorrow.
You bet.